morning. This is going to be quite a different presentation to what we've been looking at for the yesterday and today, where I'm going to take you on a little bit of a, well, for me anyway, it's a reflection and a bit of a journey back in 10 years of doing collaborative work and teaching. And because we got to 10 years there, we spoke about, as in terms of a group there, that we wanted to kind of mark that, and we put together a paper just to take us through it. But what's the title there? I know it's very long, and it was longer, and it could be shorter. But what we've done is we've used a vehicle to learn as educators and bring that into the to the students. So I'll just move on. There is my enter, is it? Yeah, here we go. So what is Tri-Varsity? Okay, I can't read this one, I'm going to have to look up here. Right. So what is Tri-Varsity? Right. As you said, it's a collaboration. I'm just going to run through there how we got here, some origins and timelines, the early years, some development, the current format, because this has changed. You know, we started this in 2013. A little look ahead at the next Tri-Varsity, which is going to be in ISEP in Lisbon, the big picture. Have a look at I Build Sustainable and Smart. And then, not now, but for you guys, if you want to watch some videos and to get in touch. Okay? And the image that's up there at the minute is actually, I know we're talking about computers in construction and computers in education, okay? But really when we're talking about BIM, Building Information Modeling, the key part there is collaboration, right? And that's what we try to do the whole time, is to get out our silos and get working together, multidisciplinary. And what I love about this image is from 2016. It was actually that project in the slide at the start, in the title slide. And we had 8 groups of students working each on their own towers. But they were also tasked with one person from each group to get together with the other groups, right, and to master plan that North Quay, right, and to look at how the buildings would interact with each other. And on foot of that as well, on what we had, after I took that picture and I went back when they were finished, this is what they'd done. They'd looked at the groups, right? We'd had a really good, part of what we do with the Tri-Varsity as well is industry integration. So we get industry experts who'd come in and talk to the students about various aspects. In this case, we had a really good guy, Chris Bakala, who's designed, engineer, who's designed many skyscrapers around the world. And he talked about some really interesting aspects about hiding from the wind and looking at the height profile on the site. And this is what they pulled together, so that then they went back to their own groups, informed about how things were going to sit together and work. Okay, so how we got here? Okay, we're going to be orange and timelines, the early years, development. Okay, and as I was just saying there, there's a slide from Francis's PhD from a few years ago. Francis from Sheffield, Hallam, and again, the whole thing there is linking with industry. Okay, they always come in to talk to us there. And as I say, we used it as a vehicle. So we had many projects where Autodesk were a great supporter and are still a great supporter of what we've been doing. And then we got access to elements that were maybe very early released, that weren't released to maybe the general education population. And we got to do things like using glue very early on. And for us then, we got to learn about it, and then these things got integrated into our own programs. So across all the institutes involved, what we've been doing in Tri-Varsity feeds into the programs. So a little bit on the development there, you see I've got BIP there, that's Blended Intensive Project. That is an Erasmus program, which is looking to encourage collaborative working across institutes in Europe. And basically what came upon that was our Tri-Varsity project was like a round peg and a round hole with that. one thing it did look for was a 5-day physical workshop. And certainly one of the things that we'd found is 3 days was the real sweet spot for doing intensive project work. Trying to go any longer, you probably got the same results, just took longer. So we've integrated more aspects into it in terms of cultural events. Okay, so that's just the map on its own there, yeah. Okay, so we recognise Europe. Okay, so this would be the early years, right, when we're looking there. It all kicked off, and there's 3 red dots there, and there's 3 institutes on the right-hand side: Waterford Institute of Technology, Sheffield Hallam University, and VIA University in college. And we met up at International Congress of Architectural Technologists conference in Sheffield in 2013. And as I say, like-minded people. We got chatting, and we all wanted to do the same thing. We could see, we all knew mandates were coming down the line. We wanted to inform our students, educate our students to be ready for industry. And also, from our point of view in Waterford, we'd started that process quite a number of years previous. And we would have said, I think 2007 we started teaching Revit, and then we started bringing in BIM methodologies. We've seen where our students were going and the types of jobs, because we had a big recession. They were leaving Ireland, they were going abroad, and they were all going into BIM type projects. So we've seen what was coming down the line for us. And we all wanted to get collaborating. And you can only do collaboration if you've got lecturing staff, educators who want to collaborate and want to be there. And we were finding it a bit difficult to get colleagues, it's not so difficult now, but to get colleagues to buy into what we wanted to do. So we started doing it ourselves, and hence the 3 institutes, Ernest came up with the phrase Tri-Varsity for the workshops. We had, so we're going there 2014 and working right through. So 2017 would be up to that sort of early years. Now, we'll move on there. 2019, 2020, unfortunately, via serious circumstances, they dropped out, but they put us in touch with Kia in Copenhagen, and that's been a fantastic addition to where we're at there. Okay, and you see the times rolling on. Very interesting there now, you see the one that's 2020 online, so obviously that's quite significant in all our lives in terms of being COVID. And, you know, we could do, everything is online, we do everything in the cloud. So we're using Autodesk Construction Cloud and BIM 360 and whatever, A360 before that. We didn't have to stop, do anything. Tri-Varsity just carried on, everything was online, and it worked fantastic. We thought to broaden and get more disciplines involved, because Sheffield Hallam's architectural technology, Kia, VIA, they were both architectural technology, construction management, and Waterford, we're architectural technology and BIM technology, and we really needed to get some engineering input, and we got in touch with the guys in ISEP, and they came over to Copenhagen, and it was a big change. It was great to have that engineer input, going around, talk to the students. Okay, and then we had the following year, Wrocław joined us, more engineer, and Fredericks joined us last year. And now we're going in, we've got ISEP in Lisbon. They came over to Waterford last year to have a look at where we're at. And we're going over to Lisbon in November for the project. So, the early years, again, look, we started off really small because we were all learning, really simple bits of projects, right? Very simple tasks to get done, some very basic federation. The following year, we basically took the same model, Ernest set this up, but then we sort of carved out to look at daylight analysis. Okay, but the conclusions that we got from it was to strengthen the Erasmus links, and we still got there. I had a student in there last semester from VIA in Copenhagen, so that links that we started way back then are still continuing. Cultural trips, rotate the venue. The students' feedback was prior knowledge of software, time scale, and they really enjoyed the collaboration and communication. And really, this slide, again, as one of the earlier ones, this is what makes it work. It's the fact that we get on. You know, you can't do this collaboration if the educators and that are running it are not getting on. And we really got on. We have a really good time. The students have a good time, and we're always learning. So the format, what we're looking at now in terms of format, we have a brief that goes out. We have what we call a prelude, right? So we get together before we start the workshop, okay? And then we have the physical workshop, and then we have a presentation at the end. And then again, in the early years, we used to have every group stand up and present, right? And if you've got 10, 12 of these presentations, there's a couple hours gone, and, you know, since then. But what we started doing was, and again, Ernest brought this in when we were up in Aarhus, every group, we always get them to make 2 posters, 2 A1 sheet posters, and a PowerPoint presentation. They can run the videos there, but we put the posters up, and then the students mark the work, okay? So we create a little marking sheet that goes up in Google Forms or something, where others do that, and they go around and they mark. And they all look at each other's work, and they chat about it, and we see everything that's going on. So the teams, and there's some shots there of the teams getting together. There's the Gantt charts that we would put together. Big part of the prelude is lectures, shared lectures. So we'll be there's somebody delivering a lecture on Dynamo from Kia to everybody, to all the institutes that are there. And it makes a big difference. And then they get online. There's some stuff from putting together ACC teaching, MS Teams. So they're online on Teams, meeting each other before we get to the physical workshop. This was excellent. This was our launch. So you get launches there. This was over in ISEP and Waterford. And at launches we have industry speakers, but the cultural events that kicked in there now. So we're over in Porto and walking up the bridge, and then we organised a ceilidh when we were in Waterford, which went down a storm. And then the workshop, getting together, working in teams. This image on the right is another great image of what Tri-Varsity is about. Not every student can travel, but they still take part. You know, they're linked in online on Teams. So there's the team having a team meeting, and there in the image there is one of the students from Sheffield taking part. We've got other images there. They're all just finding places to sit and work away, and staff going around and talking to each other, the members of staff there, you know, looking at what's happening. But the whole thing is they're all talking and collaborating, okay? And then we're looking at the presentations, okay, putting together. And that slide just down there in red with the get on with the red top on, that is one of the contractors from BAM, Tier 1 contracting company. They gave an opening presentation, and they came back to our presentations, and there's our student explaining, you know, what's going on. And this is that connections and the amount of work and jobs that's come from that. So some of the sheets, there's three-day work output, really, but the volume of work they produce, you're talking about teams of between 8 and 12 students. Usually try and get them around 10. And we set up that at the very start with the prelude about the Gantt chart of roles and responsibilities, so task lists. So we keep things in a BIM methodology. So there's some things, projects there from various Tri-Varsities that we've done. And now, 2024, we're off to ISEP in Lisbon, and that's going to bring a new level to us, which I'm looking forward to, because we're going to have probably about 140 students there, and probably split into 14 teams, but of that, there'll be 2 consortiums of 7 teams to develop the project. So that brings new aspects into like bridging for us. And then the big picture is these guys. It's all about the students and their learning, right? And their development and where they're going afterwards and being ready for industry. And we get brilliant feedback. Certainly when I talk to industry when I'm out there doing placements visit, and the skill set they're coming out with and their ability then to talk to each other and out with the silos is fantastic. So I build sustainable and smart. This is what we're looking at there. We're getting involved there with this Coves application, and hopefully that's going to build some funding there for us to take Tri-Varsity broader and wider. And then last slide, some videos, and to get in touch if you want to. Video there from 2019 in Waterford, and then one from Porto there. So a good watch. Thanks very much.